Hey everybody, it's TC here, back in my ratty pink shirt on a Saturday night. I've been doing the vinyl community since late July, and I've been having the time of my life. But I got some things on my mind since becoming a member of the vinyl community. I've come up with a list of questions, mainly because I've been trying to do this for 2 or 3 years, and I'm curious as to what everybody else has to say. So I have 12 questions for you, and if you would like to answer me, just drop down in the comments below and drop it a note, or you can email me. I have a new email address for my site and should be on screen here. I'd love to chat with you about it because these are questions that go beyond the VC. Robert Fithen had this kind of questions a few months ago, and so did Glenn Calloway. Sorry, Glenn. I always do that. I always see your name as Calloway instead of Kellaway. I know that's wrong. But I'm curious about collecting and also the aspects of production on YouTube and a few other things, because I'm looking to do some changing and jazzing up and on my channel, and wanting to make it a little bit more interesting for people and bring those numbers up, although I don't really care about them that much. I would like to do that though. So here we go. These are 12 questions. Answer however you like, and I'm very interested in hearing from the veterans out there. Question number 1, what's the estimated number of your entire music collection? How many vinyl LPs, 45s, and 78s do you have? What about CDs, cassettes, 8-tracks, reel-to-reel tapes, and MP3s? Does anybody collect one over the other? I know there's some 45 collectors. Are there anybody who focuses on cassettes or 8-tracks for the vintage aspect? Does anyone else like me have a huge MP3 collection? I'm curious. All my music has been on MP3 the last 10 years, so I really, actually, probably closer to the last 20 years if I'm being truthful, because I haven't had any way to play CDs or albums, and I'm still setting things up here so I can start doing that again. I'm just curious about how many are. I see that large wall the Vinyl Guru has, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm nowhere near that. I'm just curious, how many do you really think you have? Question 2. Having been a collector for most of my life, I never realized until I joined the VC that runouts and pressings go hand in hand, and they're very important. What difference does a runout make? Really, does it really matter whether it came from one plant or the other? Is it more important that it was pressed for Terre Haute rather than Jacksonville? I don't know these things, and I need you guys to help me figure them out. Is there an easier way to be able to read the runout info? I've been thinking about investing in a jeweler's loupe after watching a channel the other day, or a magnifier, a lighted magnifier, because I can't see those things. I've reflected to try and get the right ones, and half the ones on Discogs I have up there are wrong anyway, because I did my best, but I didn't realize until I was starting to do that just how important everybody considers this stuff. Our club issues, and this is part of that question, our club releases, Columbia House, RCA Record Club, so on, are these considered inferior to real issues? Or, because I see some people saying, I'd rather have the club release. It had more on it, it was better done. Is there something special about record clubs and their releases? Because I'm not sure, and I need to know. So please tell me. Number 3, what makes promo copies special? Is it just the thrill of having something that says not for sale on it? Is there better quality? Is it fact that you have a white label as opposed to a promotion-only sticker? And is there any ways to attract the attention of labels to get promos for review? I've done that before in the past, but it would certainly be helpful to keep up on current stuff, and I see people getting stuff promotionally from various labels and various places on occasion here. I'd like to know how to do that too. This one bugs me, and it bugs me because it scuttled my first attempt at this in 2018. Question number 4. How do people in the VC manage to play music on their videos without getting copyright slapped from YouTube? When I started doing this, I was doing countdown videos. My problem is, fair use is fair use, and some people just think it's 3 seconds, and I was trying to do enough of the songs for people to hear so they could say, hey, I want to hear the rest of this. Didn't work. I mean, it worked for a while, and I would get the usual hits, which I was, told was okay, where they're watching you or monetizing from you, because I wasn't trying to monetize, and I'm not going to with anything that I actually play, because I mean that's not how it works. But my point is, I see all these other channels out there, Current Chart, Hot Music Charts, all these other ones doing these countdowns and doing music videos and stuff, and seemingly getting away with it. When I was getting, especially after the Music Modernization Act passed under President Trump, I started getting slapped with all these, first it was complete, take the sound out, or, can't use this at all. And that ruins a top 20 countdown when you have to do that. So I'm coming up with a creative way to do it. But is there a reasonable way to deal with these morons at the record labels when, you're not out to steal their material? You just want to share it. You want people to hear it so it'll sell more. That's all I've ever been in for this. It just drives me nuts. Has the time come to come together, make YouTube come up with a reasonable license, have them do something? I mean, I'd be willing to pay, a certain small amount every year for the right to use clips of music and videos, as long as it wasn't too much and I got to monetize without any problems. It just irritates me, because the countdown shows I did were fun and everybody that saw them loved them, and then boom, 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 I kept getting hit. And when it's a weekly countdown of a current chart that I was making at the time, it was really annoying. So, anybody that's got information on that, I'd love to hear from you. I'm not out to steal music. I just want to share it. That's all I've ever wanted to do. Question 5. What's your method for searching out bargain finds? And when you do go in for it, do you check the condition, the price, even when you find something in the dollar bin? I don't have a lot of small stores around here, so I really can't say. There's a couple of... I don't have a car. So the closest thrift store is a $15 Uber trip from here. So I don't really get that. I do a lot of online cutout buying, like oldies.com, or I buy used records a lot from Record Crate or from Discogs that I'm looking for that are reasonable prices. But I don't have any bargain bin. So is there a way to, what method are you using? Do you check it yourself? I mean, inspect it even in the bargain bin when you know it's not really probably going to be that good? Number 6. Is there a preferred way to catalog your collection, and do you make your Discogs listings public or known to the rest of the VC? I'm going to be doing that soon. I haven't even started my 45s or my CDs on Discogs. Actually, I imported my CDs. I imported my records from Discogs to the backup I used. I wish you could import CDs, because I have them all on another program. Now I've got to go back in and redo them all. Is there another service or method that you prefer over Discogs also? Like, do you sit there and type it into an Excel file? I use a program called Collectors.com out of, I think, Norway or Sweden, that is really great, and I was using that before I found Discogs, I still use it as a backup, so that's pretty cool. Number 7, other than through YouTube videos, what's the best way to connect with fellow members of the VC? Is Facebook the preferred method, and do you connect with people in the industry? How and why? I'm interested in knowing people. Do you know people in the business? I know, somebody like Mazzy, who used to be in the record business, probably has tons of connections, and that's cool. But, Joe Blow, average guy like me, doesn't have anything. But I love connecting with the VC. I've emailed from a couple from time to time, talked to a few people, and I've hooked up through Facebook with some of them. What's the preferred method? And is there a way to do it without being invited to do it? Like, if I wanted to send a note to somebody about something I saw without putting it in the comments, is that breaking protocol? Because I've done that a couple of times too. I don't want to do that either. I don't want people to be mad at me, you know. I'm here to have fun like everybody else and listen to music and enjoy it. Number 8, being the collectors we are. Do you stream music, and what's your preferred service? And is it a true streaming service, or is it streaming radio? So, if you stream, do you stream Amazon Music? Do you stream Beats? Do you stream Spotify? Do you use streaming radio like Sirius XM or one of those? And do you store your music collection in the cloud for what you have on MP3s? If so, what service is the best for that? Because I've been looking for one for a long time, and I can't find one that I'm really happy with. Number 9, does anyone still listen to traditional radio? And by traditional radio, I mean actual radio stations, AM and FM, or shortwave if you're into that. I actually do listen to shortwave occasionally, and I listen to AM and FM. I listen to satellite radio. I have a subscription to Sirius, so I listen to that too. Going back to the last question, my preferred streaming service is Spotify, if you haven't figured that out yet. Do you still listen to traditional radio? And if you do you listen to music? Do you listen to current music? Do you listen to the classic rock or classic oldies channel? I know when I listen to radio here in the Boston area, you really can't find anything that's not a clear channel 45 every minute. You repeat the same songs every 45 minutes. That's a pop channel. So I usually listen to a little station called WJIB, which is the Memories station. It plays everything from the 1940s to the 1970s, and it's a one-man operation out of Maine that simulcasts to Massachusetts and New Hampshire. I can't get it at home. I have to be listening, like if I'm in a car or a taxi. You usually get it better there, but it's a great channel. And I like some of the ones on Cape Cod that play 70s and 80s oldies. They're great when we've been down there on the Cape. What do you listen to? What draws you in if you still listen to traditional radio? Number 10, other than Robert Fithen, because I know he does anyone out there actually work in radio? Is anyone employed or retired from a radio station? I know some of the people that used to work in radio. And how many of you used to work or have worked or do work in record stores? I've had experience with all of them. A little bit of I was in internet. I worked with the internet radio network called DiscJockey.com from its inception in 1998 through its closure in 2000, late 2000. It was the dream job. It was one I always wanted. I wish it had lasted. My boss, Rich Chadwick, God rest him, he passed away a couple years ago, was a terrific guy and a great visionary. We were part of that initial run, none of which are still out there. There was that one, Spinner, and 2 or 3 other ones. None of them are still there. So I'm just curious, does anybody work in radio, or have you ever worked in a record store? Number 11, this is specifically for purchasing. Is there a dealer or dealers out there that you know of that specialize in selling music radio transcriptions? Shows like American Top 40, Rick D's Weekly Top 30, stuff like that. And do they have reasonable prices that you've noticed? I've picked up a few here and there on eBay that have been pretty reasonable, but I'd like to get more, and I love radio transcriptions, especially looking for an old show called Music Scene USA, hosted by Wink Martindale. It was on in 1974 and 75. Love to get a copy of that, especially if it has Ding a Dong by T-Gen on it from the summer of 75. I very much like to connect with somebody or anybody. If you have any suggestions or places that you've seen, I'd love to hear that, and I'd love to see it in the notes, link up and put link or whatever. Finally, number 12. I'm thinking about revamping my channel a little bit, like I said. But I've noticed that some members of the VC really don't like it when other members take the time to jazz up their channel and kind of go a little bit slicker with, bits and pops and fun, and and how dare they monetize, or how dare they have a Patreon, or how dare they try to get sponsors or sell merchandise. I definitely would like to do that eventually, and sort of limping toward that as the next 60 days go forward. I'm going to try and revamp some stuff a little bit, and I hope everybody will continue to watch because it'll still be the same old silly TC, but just in a more, I hope, a more entertaining and fun, poppy fashion. Some members, though, seem to really look down on that, and I'm kind of curious as to why. I love some of those channels. I love Channel 33 RPM. I love Vinyl Eyes. I love Vinyl Rewind. Even the Vinyl Guru is like that. She's definitely, she does Patreon. She does, sell stuff. Record Spinner. I love these channels. I can't understand why I see people dissing on them, and it's like, wow, these guys are knowledgeable. They're fun. They're entertaining. They're enlightening in some cases. Why would you not give them the benefit of the doubt and let them have just their little corner like everybody else does? I don't get that. So if you guys could give me an idea why that bothers you, for those of you who does, because I would like to try something like that in the near future, and I don't really want to piss everybody off, but I got to be me. Like today, I've been working on the new bumpers and stuff for the idea that I have, because I'm used to doing a radio style podcast. So we've been producing podcasts since 2006. We produce several of them every week. I do little mini shows, and we do full length shows, and I like to make them sound like radio because that's what I'm used to doing. And so I basically want to make radio for the mind, visual radio with this. So I was looking at different video editing programs and stuff today, better than the ones I have, and I really hope that people will like what I do when I do it. More to the point, I hope more people will be willing to come over and interact with me on my social media. I have a Facebook, I have a Twitter, I have an Instagram, I have a Patreon, but I'm actually starting a new one specifically for this channel at some point. I just basically want to know how I can, trying to figure out the right way to put this. How can I do what I do and make you interested in it? That's what I'm looking to say, because I have a great group of people that always check out my stuff, and that's fantastic. But of course, like everyone else, I want to grow those subscriptions. I want to grow into a point where I can actually make a few bucks at it if I can. I've been part of this record collecting since I was a wee tot, and a big chart person since I was probably 7 or 8 when I first discovered American Top 40. And I can't wait to share my charts with you. They're already online over the Kirkham Report. I'm trying to get more people interested in going over there and checking out what I have. So I've got a bunch of new columns going over there. And I want to connect with the VC so that I can kind of get an idea as to how everybody thinks, how everybody operates, what everybody wants. Isn't that what we all want, is to be liked and to be enjoyed? That's what I'm trying to do. I mean, I'm doing it for myself. There's no doubt about that. But I love it when I get a comment that said, I love your piece. I love your answer to my thread. I love the contest entry. This was really funny. That makes me feel great. Really great. And I'm glad people are putting up with me, because I'm so not like other people in the VC with my taste in music and stuff. I mean, if there's anything I've ever seen in the VC, it's people are very rock oriented. There's segments with jazz and country and so on, but most people are very rock oriented. And you see a lot of Judas Priest and Led Zeppelin, all that stuff. And here I go bopping through with Hanson and ABBA and Barry Manilow and Teen Idols, and you guys still like it, and that's great. So help me out here. Take a few minutes and answer my questions, and drop me a line if you want at the email, or put it in the notes below, or the comments below, and help me to do better so that you'll enjoy it better, because that's what I'm here for. It seemed kind of weird to be talking about this. I'm really new to the VC, and but I'm not new to collecting. I'm not new to being a music lover, and I'm not new to being knowledgeable about the various parts of the business: radio, digital, and charts and record stores. I've been involved with all of them over my life. I have some knowledge of all of them. And I just want to make that knowledge grow, and I want to share it with you. So I hope you like what this. Hope you like this. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And check out my website at thekirkhamreport.com. Take a look at the lunacy of music that I've listened to all my life, and let me know what you think of the answers. Give me your answers to these 12 questions. Thanks for your time. Look forward to hearing from you. I'm TC. Ta-ta.